Hello, welcome and thanks for joining me. My name's Fiona Sutherland. I'm an accredited practicing dietitian and director of the Mindful Dietitian and Body Positive Australia. I'm really grateful to be here today to speak about something that is really close to my heart, and that is the practice of mindfulness. I'm really passionate about how mindfulness could possibly revolutionise the dietetic profession and the way in which we work with our fellow human beings. So essentially, mindfulness is cultivating a present moment awareness in a non-judgmental way. It's cultivating a kind and compassionate present moment awareness of your own inner world. For us, the practice of cultivating our own inner world encourages us to be able to access the parts of our brain that help us connect with our clients in a genuine way that prioritises their welfare. One of the great gifts of mindfulness is it can support us in becoming better at what we do in helping others. Cultivating a sense of presence and mindfulness can provide you with the resources that can help you to support others with greater resilience and efficacy. You're likely to have more energy for yourself and your clients and less likely to burn out. Cultivating mindfulness allows us to access the part of our brain that helps us be more flexible, be more receptive, be more responsive, and be more collaborative. For our clients, now we understand that mindfulness has all this research behind it in terms of how it can help change the brain. What we know is it's actually really hard to pay attention. We know this and we understand it. We all find it hard. We get distracted easily, we get urges, and many people find pleasure and an escape from unpleasant experiences via food and eating. So what essentially happens is that the mind lays down memories of pleasure or displeasure, and we learn to repeat the process and it becomes a habit. So there's a cue or a trigger, and then there's a response behaviour, and then there's a reward. What if instead we were able to cultivate a sense of curiosity about the cue or trigger, about what's happening inside our bodies and mind? Not forcing, but just sitting back and being curious. Looks a bit like this. Mindfulness helps us ask, what am I getting from my behaviours? And then invites us to slow down and connect with how it feels. And as dietitians, I really think this is the bit that we often miss when we're discussing this with clients. The aim is to form new habits through the process of naturally letting go rather than forcing. Mindfulness is really just about being interested, getting up close and personal with what is actually happening in our bodies and minds from moment to moment. It's having a willingness to turn towards our experience with curiosity and not judgment, rather than trying to get rid of cravings as soon as we can. It is this willingness to turn towards our experience that is supported by one of the central principles of mindfulness, curiosity. When we can get curious, we can slow down to notice what's actually going on in the mind and in the body. The cravings are actually body sensations that come and go. They're actually much smaller experiences that can be managed on a moment-to-moment basis, rather than us getting overwhelmed by an experience that feels way too big. We can respond rather than react. One of the keys to get started with mindfulness is to 1, slow down, 2, get curious, 3, stay there, stay in the moment and resist the urges to speed up and just move on. It's really a non-threatening way to invite our clients to understand more about their own cues or triggers and to create awareness. It's a really great starting point because even when things are really overwhelming, it's usually possible to access curiosity and take the pressure off actually doing anything. Thank goodness we've got all these amazing neuroscientists around that help us to understand our brain. These amazing people have shown us that practicing mindfulness, particularly meditation, affects brain areas related to perception, body awareness, pain tolerance, emotion regulation, introspection, complex thinking and a sense of self. While more research is needed to document these changes over time and to understand the underlying mechanisms, the converging evidence is really compelling. Mindfulness practice has been shown to be instrumental in strengthening neural connections in the parts of our brain that help us with reasoning and decision making. So as I'm talking, what I want you to think about is how these ideas fit into our roles as dietitians and what we actually do with our clients, what they might actually be experiencing in their relationships with food and eating. So what we know is that the amygdala is part of the limbic system, which is located at the end of the hippocampus. Its function is responsible for the response and memory of emotions, especially fear. When we or our clients become stressed or anxious, the amygdala fires up and we go into reactive or default mode. It means that we're unable to make calm and rational decisions. Oh, it's just really tough. However, mindfulness strategies can calm the amygdala down, and there is increased neural activity in the prefrontal cortex, which sits behind our forehead and is responsible for helping us make decisions from a calmer place, to allow us to analyse our options, be more flexible, and create awareness of urges, cravings, and impulses. So have a think for a second. Do any of your clients come to you talking about these things? Do they talk about cravings for certain foods? Do they talk about these impulses they feel like they just can't control? Well, chances are they probably need to work on their prefrontal cortex. And the great news is that using mindfulness skills, you can help them. So as dietitians, when we offer clients strategies such as distraction or replacement behaviours, for example, eat fruit instead of chocolate or just walk out of the room, unfortunately it keeps them locked in cognitive or thinking mode. They actually have to think their way through the current problem or difficulty. These skills definitely have place, but they're not necessarily built on a strong foundation for longer-term benefit. This is because we can only think our way through a situation so far or for so long. And although this might yield some short-term results, which help us and our clients feel good, admittedly, I offer you the idea that mindfulness provides a strong foundation upon which longer-term behaviour change rests. The reason is because mindfulness offers us a way to help people move into integration mode, so moving out of the head and connecting with the body, from where people can build skills in moving down into the body and making decisions from a place of curiosity, observation, and attunement. Now, not every client is ready for these skills when we first see them, but part of our role is to help support our clients to build up towards a place where they can be ready. There are certainly some presentations that we might be faced with that benefit significantly more than others from mindfulness-based practices. But I think that, almost everyone benefits on some level from integrating mindfulness into our work, including us. So what I'm really talking about is a little less of this. That kind of talking at our clients or just wishing they would do what we ask them to do. Or at the very least creating awareness of our tendencies or our habits to do this, to tell people what to do. Look, we can tell people what to do, why to do it, and what they'll get out of it. And it can be subtle and not so subtle. Most of the time, look, we're really nice about it. We're not being mean. But when we repeat the same message in 20 different ways, hoping that at some point people will get it and it will change their behaviour, then we need to just take a second to ask ourselves, is it actually working? Is it effective? And is it helpful? It definitely helps people make changes short term, which also helps us feel good. We feel like we're actually doing something. We're really helping. We're getting in there, right? Well, I suggest maybe we need to do a little more of this. Notice this is not hand-holding. It is providing warm, consistent and reliable support, the kind that really helps people make shifts in their own behaviour that comes from a place of respect and care, not shame, disconnection or distrust. This way of operating requires some trust in yourself and a sense of humility that actually we know very little about how to optimise the well-being of another human being. and that doing your best means putting yourself out there a bit. So what we're aiming to cultivate is more curiosity, meditation practice, awareness, insight, and connection. We're aiming to notice and perceive the signals from others that offer us valuable information. We're aiming to deeply understand the experience of another person. We're aiming to support our clients to listen to their body signals and encouraging them to decode their own eating behaviours so that we're facilitating the very skills that create the foundation for self-efficacy and longer-term behaviour change. So my question is, could mindfulness be a game changer for dietitians? And I absolutely believe it can, but it starts with us. It can break the cycle of mistrust and allow us to be open and connected to what is most likely to benefit our clients, even if we're not going to feel immediately rewarded ourselves as practitioners. Mindfulness offers dietitians a unique way to deepen and strengthen our role as experts in health and well-being. Knowing the science is great, but it isn't much without also understanding humans, the people we work with, and also ourselves. So in order to be most effective in our practice, to be fully present with our patients and clients, it's really important that we understand our own mind. And the great thing is mindfulness offers us this opportunity to become experts in de-experting ourselves, to help our clients take charge of their health and well-being in a meaningful and body-centered way. Because this is a part of a skill set we can develop as long as we're willing to stay loyal to the principles of mindfulness and not to be drawn into the desire for quick results to bolster our own sense of achievement. We do have the capacity and potential to influence significant change if we choose. We need to understand ways to do it differently that offer meaningful help to others. So if you're looking for more prefrontal cortex training, I cannot recommend the counselling skills workshops from Tara McGregor, a beautiful friend of mine and colleague. It's definitely one of the best training that I have ever done. So go to her website, practicepavestones.com.au, take a look and see what's being offered. There's plenty being offered at the moment. And also at the Mindful Dietitian, I'm aiming to offer online and live workshops really regularly for dietitians. I'm on Instagram and Twitter and all those kind of fun places. So if you want to keep in touch, then please look me up. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much for being with me to hear a little bit about mindfulness for dietitians. I really hope you've got something out of today, and again, keep in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Bye.